Alright, today you're going to learn about three different concepts. Area of a parallelogram is the first one. So what we have here is area of a parallelogram. The area A of a parallelogram is the product of its base B times the height H. So a parallelogram is a, if I get my pen here, it's a quadrilateral with parallel sides. This is parallel to this line, which means the lines never touch. And then the top line's parallel to the bottom line. So that's a parallelogram. And this is how you find the area of it, just base times height. And the key thing is the height is not this diagonal line. The height is from this base, top base, to the bottom base. So for a few examples we have here, so all you're going to do is just base times height. Base times height for a parallelogram. So this would be its base, so that would be for the purple one, 20. And then the height would be 25 because it's from base to height, 20 times 25. So then this parallelogram, the area would be 500. And then how we do area is M, the unit is M, so M and M. So M squared with a 2 because we're multiplying. So for number 2, so the base is 7, so it would be 7 times the height is 18. So 7 times 18. And my brain doesn't want to work today, so I'm going to use a calculator. So 18 times 7 is 126. So that's 126. And then you have inches as both the units, so it's inches squared. There you go. And then number 3 is a parallelogram, so the top is parallel to the bottom, and the left side is parallel to the right side. So you have your base is 30 times your height, which is between both the parallel sides, is 20.5. So you have 30 times 20.5, which is 615. For units, you have 2 yards here, so it's yards squared. So that's area of a parallelogram, which is base times height. And then the next one you're going to learn about is the area of a triangle. The area of a triangle is 1/2 the product of its base times its height, so it's 1/2 base times height. Okay, so for these examples, and you can pause this at any time. Here's a triangle. The area of the triangle is 1/2 times base times height. So its base is 11, so 1/2 times 11 times 4. Which is 1/2 of 44, which is 22. Again, the units, they're 2 feet. Feet right there, so it's feet squared. So that's 22 feet squared. And then for this triangle, so again, the area of a triangle is 1/2 base times height. So base is 22, height is 10. So 1/2 times 22 times 10. So 1/2 of 22 is 11. 11 times 10 is 110. Both my units are measurement is meters, so that's meters squared. And then that's area of a triangle. Area of a triangle is 1/2 times the base times the height. A review of a bunch of different shapes. So first one, we have a triangle with a base of 3 and a height of 6. So that's 1/2 times 3 times 6. So 1/2 of 18, which is 9. And the square, you have square is length times width, and sides is 12 since all sides are equal. So that's going to be 12 times 12, which is 144. Parallelogram, that's the shape we did in the beginning. So parallelogram is just base times height. So all you're going to do is 5 times 20. And that is 100. And then the rectangle is length times width. So it's 4 times 11, or base times height. And that's 44. And then the next shape you're going to learn, again, at any time, pause, go back, rewind, fast forward, try these on your own. The next shape is a trapezoid. Trapezoid's a little tougher. It is essentially two triangles and a rectangle, but the formula for area of a trapezoid is 1/2 times your height times the sum of both your bases. So again, it is 1/2 the product of its height and the sum of base 1 and base 2. So let's practice some of these. So the formula is 1/2 times the height times the sum of both the bases. So base 1 plus base 2. And the bases are the parallel lines. So for this green figure for A, so the only parallel lines I have are 9 and 5. So those are the bases. So that's a base and that's a base, which leaves the height to be 6. So if I want to find the area of a trapezoid, it is 1/2 times the height, which is 6, times 6, times 9 plus 5. So 1/2 of 6 is 3. 9 plus 5 is 14. So it's 3 times 14, which is 42. And then the unit of measurement is feet. So 42 feet. Again, we're talking about area. So 42 feet squared. So that's how you find the area of a trapezoid. So 1/2 height times the sum of the bases. So again, the bases are the parallel sides. So the only parallel side I have for the figure in purple is 8.5 and 11.5. That means the height is 5. So 1/2 times 5. So erase that. So 1/2 times 5 times the sum of 11.5 plus 8.5. So 1/2 of 5 is 2.5. 2.5. And then 11.5 plus 8.5 is 20. And then 20 times 2.5, that's going to be an area of 50. And then the M for meters is your measurement, so meters squared. And that's your area of a trapezoid. So if we go back to the area of a trapezoid, these bases have to be parallel to each other for the bases. You add them up, times by your h, and then divide by 2. So it's 1/2 times h times base 1 plus base 2. So 1/2 the product of h times the sum of its bases. Alright, so for this area of a trapezoid, so the parallel sides, the only parallel sides I have are this side, the left side, and the right side. So this is a grid, so we're talking about units. So this is 1, 2 units, because it's 2 squares. And then this parallel side is just 1. So those are its bases. And then the height is the distance between them. So if I go from my left base to my right base, there's 1 square, 2 squares, 3 squares, 4 squares, 5 squares, 6 squares. So the height is 6. So it's 1/2 times my height, which is 6, and my sum of my bases. That's 2 plus 1. So 1/2 of 6 is 3, so 3 times 3 then, because 2 plus 1 is 3, that equals 9. So that's 9 units squared as your answer. Again, the bases are parallel lines. The distance between the bases is your height. That's your trapezoid. So again, feel free to go back and see all 3 different areas: parallelogram, triangle, and trapezoid. And then go and try and practice in the additional assignments I have for you.